Hey guys, if you've clicked on this video, maybe you've got a goal for hitting your first ever bodyweight chin-up or pull-up. So today I'm going to take you through my 4 strategies that are going to guarantee that you're going to get it for the first time ever. So let's get into it. So the first progression we're going to use in taking you towards getting your chin-ups is going to be a bodyweight row. So what you're going to need is either a Smith machine or a squat rack in which you can set up the barbell at varying heights. Now, the higher you have the barbell, the easier it's going to be. So as a beginner, you want to start up higher. As the barbell gets lower and lower and lower, you're going to have to lift more and more of your body weight, which is going to make it a harder progression. Our goal is to pretty much get as low as you possibly can before there's not enough room for you to pull up anymore. And then we're going to move on to progression number 2. So what we're looking for with this is, obviously we're trying to replicate a chin up as best as possible. All right, so now we will obviously want to replicate the chin up as best as possible because that's what we're looking to gain strength is. So this is going to be a lot easier because you're pulling yourself horizontally instead of vertically. But your key here is have your hands shoulder width apart with your palms facing yourself. Exactly like a chin up. What you want to do, place your legs out in front of you and then you're going to flex your core and your glutes. So we create a nice straight line. From here, pull yourself up till your chest is in line with the bar and lower yourself back down again. Okay, if you're unable to lift yourself up nice and straight without jerking yourself up, without a nice, slow, controlled movement, what you're going to want to do is raise the bar up higher because that's going to mean you lift less of your body weight and it's going to regress it a little bit to make it easier for yourself and adjust accordingly. How should you implement this into your training? You want to look at performing it 2 to 3 times per week for 3 to 5 sets from anywhere between 8 to 10 repetitions. Once you can do 10 repetitions at the lowest setting, we move on to progression 2. Okay, so the second progression we're going to look at is the negative chin-up. So this involves only doing the downward portion of the chin-up. That's because you're going to be much stronger at lowering weights than actually lifting weights. So with this, we're going to use just our body weight and a chin-up bar. Now, if you're shorter, you could use a step or a box to step up to, but I'm going to show you same rules. You want to have your hands shoulder width apart, chest up, and you don't want to waste any energy with trying to pull yourself up to the bar. So you're either going to want to jump using all the strength from your legs or step up onto a box. So I'll demonstrate jumping first. Jump, stabilize at the top, lower yourself roughly 2, 3, 4, 5 to the bottom, and then jump and repeat it. So that's how you want to have nice controlled reps on your second progression. So if you're a little bit shorter, get yourself a box or something to step up onto because now you don't want to waste any energy trying to get yourself above the bar. You can simply step and you're going to be pretty much at the right height to start the movement. So you want to make sure, same deal, palms facing yourself, shoulder width apart. You're going to have your chin up above the bar, just like the finishing position of your goal, getting your chin over bar. Now from here, you're simply going to take your weight and try and lower yourself as slowly and controlled as possible. Now, negative chin-ups are predominantly a strength exercise, so you still want to work them out 2 to 3 times per week. This time though, you want 5 sets of 3 to 5 repetitions, remembering to control on the way down for at least 3 to 5 seconds. Okay, so the third progression we're going to look at now is a band-assisted chin-up. Now, unlike the assisted chin-up machines or pull-up machines you see in a lot of gyms, this is a much more natural way of assisting you during your pull-ups because as it's elastic tension, the higher you get on the movement, the less assistance it's going to give you. Now, as you know, when you go through a lift, you're at your strongest near the end range of motion. So when I get near the top of the bar, I'm at the strongest. My weakest point is the very start of the chin up when I start. Now, this is going to be very natural as the more stretch that's on the band, the more it's going to assist me. So as I get near the top of the movement, it's not going to help as much. So it's going to be very good at making you strong throughout the entire movement, which is a much more natural feeling than on an assisted pull-up machine where you sort of just fly up the last few bits of the movement because the resistance is the same the whole way. So the more stretch you have on the band, the more it's going to aid you. There are many different grades of bands, so you find one that's good for you and progressively work your way down till you get less and less resistance with it. Now what you want to do, hook the band over the top of the chin-up bar. You want to grab about midway down the band. Don't grab at the bottom or you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get that over your foot. You want to grab about midway up the band, pull down nice and strong with your arms, and then just step your foot into the band and push it down to take all the tension into the band. From there, same as before, we want the same grip throughout all these exercises because we're trying to strengthen that specific grip to work before your pull-up. So what you want to do, palms facing yourself, hands shoulder width apart again, and then you want to lower yourself down so you've got all the tension on the band. Your arms are fully locked out. From here, you're going to pull yourself all the way up this time. Pause for a second at the top and stabilize, and lower yourself back down again, nice and controlled, and then repeat over and over for your prescribed amount of reps and sets. You want to be nice and controlled and not swinging throughout the whole movement. So give that one a shot, and that's progression number 3, and keep using a band with less and less resistance until you're ready to move on to the 4th and final progression. Frequency to 2 to 4 times per week, still with 3 to 5 sets, but 5 to 8 repetitions. Now remember to utilize all the different strengths of bands to allow yourself to do different rep ranges throughout the week. Once you've got to the lowest resistance band and you're able to do sets of 8 really easily, we move on to the next progression. Okay, the 4th and final progression before we move on to the full chin-up itself is again with a band, but this time compared to the last exercise where you place the band around your foot, we're going to place it on your knee this time, because obviously the more stretch we put through this band, the more assistance it's going to give you. So instead of placing it all the way down on your foot, what you want to do this time is grab it in the middle again, and this time hook it just over your knee. So you're going to have to cross your knees up under yourself and hold yourself for the chin up now, but this band is going to have much less tension on it, so it's going to assist you far less. So it's going to be much harder than before, but again, we're moving towards getting to that full body weight chin up for the first time ever. So if you've been going through the progressions, you're going to be ready for this. So same rules again. No, I'm saying it a lot, but palms facing towards yourself, shoulder width apart, strengthening that one progression, band on your knee, lower down to the full range of the chin, and again, nice big pull all the way up above the bar, lower yourself nice and controlled, and repeat, pull yourself above the bar again. Exact same progression as if you're using the band on your foot, because it's the same movement, just less resistance. Work your way up to the least resistance band, and you're finally ready to go on to your full chin up. Okay, now we're up to finally doing your first body weight chin up ever. But before I get into the technique on how to do this right and how to perform it at your best, I want to talk about mindset. A lot of the times, the biggest reason why people fail at a lot of things, especially the pull up or the chin up, is because you yourself don't believe you can do it. And I promise you, if you've been following the progressions up until now, you have the strength to be able to do a chin up. It may not be that easy. You may have to pull and grind through that first one, but if you've been following these progressions, you are ready to do so. It's all about just believing in yourself, believing in here that you can actually doing it, going up to that bar confidently and giving it your best shot. Now, you will get that chin up. So let's take you through some technique to make sure that you're going to do the best possible chin up. Now, when you're here at the bar, as I've been saying in all the other progressions, you want to make sure that you have your palms facing you. You want to have your hands shoulder width apart. Now, with this, you want to go down into a hang, but you don't want to release your shoulders from their sockets. What I mean by this is, when I go down, I'm going to be holding my shoulders nice and strong, already activating some of the muscles in my back. I'm not going to go down like this. As you can see, I dropped a few more inches, and now my ears are now in my shoulders. You want to pull yourself so you've got the tension on your lats there. You're just going to pull yourself down ever so slightly, flexing those lats so your shoulder girdle is in a much safer position to pull from. Once you're there, now you're ready to go for the movement. You want to have your abs nice and tight, nice and flexed, and from there, think about pulling your chest to the bar, not your chin. Now, you're not going to be able to get your chest to the bar in the beginning, but it's a good goal to aim for that after that. A chin up means chin above the bar. But if you go think of trying to get your chin to the bar, the angle at which you pull at is going to be incorrect. You may end up trying to strain your neck, trying to get your chin above the bar. But if you're thinking about getting your chest to the bar, you may not get that high, but you get your chin over the bar anyway, and you'll be pulling in the right angle. So remember, keeping that tension on your shoulders, lock them down, flex your abs, and pull up. So it should look something like this. You go down, you won't go dead hang, you pull that tension, so you're sitting here, flex those abs, and then you're going to pull. Try and get chest to bar. Now, you notice, even if I don't go that high and go chest to bar, my chin's above the bar, but I'm leaning back and I'm pulling with my back. You've been following the progression. If you believe in yourself, you're going to get your chin-ups. Now, how do you go from getting to 1 to getting 5, 10 or more? The biggest thing is when you can get your first 1 or 2 chin-ups is you don't want to be going to failure all the time. You don't want to be just doing 2 reps out and then dropping, being complete failure. You want to use some of the other progressions we've been using to train in different rep ranges. So for example, you might have a day where you use quite a medium band and you're able to do sets of 10 and 12. Then on another day, you go and you do, 6 sets of 1. If you're only able to get 2 at the moment, stick with 1 because you don't want to train to failure. And then on the other day, you may use a lighter band and do sets of say 5 or 6. You don't want to be stuck doing the same movement and grinding away at just trying to get 1 or 2 out every single time. The best way to progress is to use a variety of different rep ranges. Another alternative is to try and do them as often as possible. Never to failure, but in between your rest sets of your other lifts. If you're only getting 1 or 2 to start off with, maybe in between every rest set on your leg days, you could go up and just do 1 chin-up. Don't try for the second, just 1. Just by doing this more and more often, your body gets used to the movement and you're gonna become stronger and better at recruiting those muscles. All right guys, so now I guarantee you, following that progression, you're gonna get your first ever chin-up. The key is just being persistent, patient, and most of all, believing in yourself. So make sure, follow that through, and I guarantee you, you're gonna get your first ever chin-up. If you get stuck or you need a little bit more help, always feel free to shoot me a message and I'm glad to help you all out. So go out there and smash your goals. See you next time.